10 on Your Side is working to get a law change that was designed to help families of the fallen.
Here's how it's supposed to work. The service member's surviving spouse would get an exemption on property taxes on the family home.
But in practice, it's tough to qualify. Investigative reporter Chris Horne has more on a Virginia Beach woman and her 4 kids caught up in red tape. Chris?
Nicole and Tom, they've already grieved the loss of a loved one in battle, and now legal fine print is leaving them frustrated and disappointed. The good news, after we alerted a local lawmaker, he says a solution is in the works.
You live in fear when your soldier is deployed, and you don't allow yourself to think of the worst.
But for Christy Billings of Virginia Beach and her 4 kids, the worst is exactly what happened. Army Sergeant Robert Billings had driven his Stryker vehicle over an IED in Afghanistan.
I received a phone call very early in the morning stating that there had been an incident, that my husband was injured, and that he was being airlifted to help.
Medics transported Sergeant Billings to a tent hospital in Kandahar.
The next communication that I received was a knock on the door, and the officers were letting me know that he had passed.
The husband of Christy Billings and the father of Isaiah, Kaylee, Elijah, and Naomi Billings was gone. The family has plenty of reminders. His daughter wears his dog tags, and the many pictures, and the flag that draped his coffin in its special case on the mantle, reminding them of the day when one life ended and 5 others changed forever.
It's hard to describe what it is to live without somebody who was your future, everything that you wanted to share, everything with, and whom your children need on a daily basis and don't have.
This war widow says every little kindness helps. So when Virginia voters passed a real estate property tax exemption for surviving spouses of service members killed in action, she was encouraged. Then she read the fine print. The state law relies on the Pentagon's definition of killed in action, a service member who was killed outright on the spot or who dies before reaching a medical treatment facility. Billings died in a tent hospital. Instead of KIA, the Defense Department says he died of wounds. His family loses out on the benefit. At the local level, it's up to commissioners of revenue to carry out the law as it's written.
Their definitions are very narrow. That's part of the angst that we have.
Kellum and other revenue commissioners are working with lawmakers to see what can be done to help people like Christy Billings and her family.
Phil has called me and says, Barry, make this happen, because we all want to make it happen.
Delegate Barry Knight represents the district where the Billings family lives.
I found out through you, actually. Okay. You called my office and told us that there was a situation, a very egregious situation.
After we contacted his office, he's now working with the State Department of Veterans Services and Attorney General Mark Herring to get rid of the loophole.
If all else fails, I will pass legislation this year to put it in the Code of Virginia to clarify the law, which was original intention was.
This is the Billings family home near Pungo. With a real estate tax exemption at current rates, Christy Billings would save about $2,000 every year as long as she does not remarry. She says the law needs to have a more reasonable definition of killed in action.
Unfortunately, we will not be the only ones affected by this.
We're going to make it right. Her husband, by everyone's definition, got killed in action.
I'm glad that you're here. I think this can help get the word out.
I truly do believe that the spirit of the law was meant to encompass and honor the families of the fallen, to remember the fallen.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where the letter of the law is winning out over the spirit of the law, the intention of it. Billings deserves the tax exemption. Knight says he's working on the possibility of getting the law changed by as early as February, and he has the support of Virginia's Attorney General. Mark Herring sent me a statement yesterday that reads in part, "It's heartbreaking to imagine that the law has fallen short. I would be eager to work with the General Assembly to help ensure service members' spouses and families are receiving their deserved benefits." So we'll keep you posted to see if more military families end up getting what they have coming. Chris Horne, 10 on Your Side.